Hello, beautiful people. You're welcome to another episode of People and Politics. Now, this is Life Center Network, your gateway to possibility. I am your host for today, and my name is Ene John Jr. Now, People and Politics is a program that is centered around educating the Christian community and making us understand the importance of being involved in politics. Out there, people play politics in deadly ways, all kinds of ways. They do all kinds of things and we read about them. But here, we try to restrict ourselves to the point of how can we bring Christianity into politics and do it the God way. So today, we'll have a very beautiful topic to discuss. And I have an amazing guest that you will like to listen to. And I enjoy you to sit back and enjoy the program today. Now, our topic today is a little bit diverse from what we normally talk about. Because today we are talking on dealing with a difficult boss. I'm sure some people will be wondering why we are going that way. But we always talk about politics and we forget about the people aspect. So today we are going to focus on the people aspect. I'm sure all of you viewers out there, and me myself, we're all bosses in one way or the other. And I'm sure some people look at us too as difficult, even though they will say it to our faces. But today, we will air out our minds. And of course, it's a phone-in program. So they will scroll the number on the screen. You can call in and give us your contribution. Before we go further and I introduce my guest, let me take you to a Bible verse. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 17. It says, "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch over your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you." I don't know if you actually pick out a few things from it, but let me take it again. Hebrews 13 verse 17. It says, let me take it one more time. "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable to you." As a boss, wherever you are, you need to work with people in harmony. You need to work in a way that they also will give a good account of you. I've heard a lot of people talk about my boss is this, my boss is that, and they make you lose the appetite to work under them. But today we are going to dissect that and go as much as we can. Now today I have a very wonderful guest. Let him introduce himself, but I trust you will enjoy him today. So, sir, let's meet you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Samuel Omoregbe.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a seasoned HR consultant.
Oh, wow.
And I've played space managing people for past a decade, and we've actually seen how things emanate from different organizations. I'm certain that today we'll do justice to this and to be value added. Wow. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, you can see his CV is, he already came prepared. And we can't wait for him to start downloading everything to us. Now, get your phone ready, get it recharged, get it charged. You're going to call in. We expect your contributions too. And as you do so, as you share your own experience and your knowledge with other people, the Lord will bless you. Amen. Hallelujah. Now, sir, why are some bosses difficult to work with? Why? What really? I mean, some people come up with a mentality that I am the owner of this company and I can do what I like. Or is it an inherent thing that just make people display negativity towards other people? So why do we have a difficult process everywhere?
Thank you, moderator. Quite insightful what you shared. But let's go a little behind what will emanate anybody be termed difficult. Okay. So over time, some of these persons will term bosses. They've been also subordinate somewhere before.
Okay, that's true.
So we'll be tackling this from probably their experience and their background.
Okay.
Whilst we actually know that some persons just want to gain that bossy attitude in any environment. When they come in, they want everyone to just go under the chair. Yes, they just know that my boss is around. Over time, we've actually seen that when we investigated further, though, like that's how my young career career life has been.
Okay.
So some of them, consciously or unconsciously, they might not even know that they are being bossy or
Oh,
overly bossy over their subordinate. And quite unfortunately, in the environment we find ourselves, some of these of our employees, they are scared to talk for the fear of losing their job, unless you have a well structured system where they can communicate clearly. But what emanates some of these persons turning into this, I see them over time, from because they also have a, if it's a business owner like an entrepreneur, he has a focus, he has a target. Probably he just focus on meeting his target or generating profits. So with that kind of orientation, he doesn't want to take other side issues that might just dampen that. So it just goes from the background that, oh, everybody here, you are here to work, I'm here to do business, and every other issue, just bottle them up and just deliver. But over time, we've also seen that some of those quiet bits they don't look into, they tend to cost more on the business. So I'll term it being difficult, as it were, for bosses. Some is just towards being very, very result oriented, trying to meet a bottom line. Some of them still have, maybe if it's a structured environment, they report to the board, and they're also working with it with a time with a deadline. So most time it emanates probably from leadership to them as our bosses, and it flows to those under them. Yes.
All right. Now, from what you said, we can actually deduce the fact that some people just want to focus on the profit that comes in.
Yeah.
So they don't really care about the rest of the people. That just look at other people as people that work for them.
Yeah.
And you must bring in the result, irrespective of how the relationship goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how come we have issues of harassment here and there from bosses? You know, harassment can be different, can be all types.
Yeah.
It can be sexual, it can be emotional, it can be all that. So how does this actually affect the work environment? You know, being a boss that just wants results to just come, but you don't look at this other people. How does it affect the workforce under them?
Yeah, thank you, moderator. I think one of the major benefits we actually gained from, should I say, COVID from 2020 was the workplace or employees having putting their mental health in check.
Okay.
Yes, a lot happened that we saw the need for empathy as regards what we do. We actually know all what transpired during that period. So yes, like for me, I've worked with several bosses. I had one related to this. His slogan is "Get the business done, save the stories for later."
Oh wow!
So it doesn't know. It doesn't want to know wherever you have to do it. If we have like, you just tell you that, let me know the cost later, but just deliver. Some more excuses are weapons for mediocres.
Wow!
So I was like, yes, but some things are still emanating this. So part of what you actually capture. So we're not seeing that, okay, yes, they want to be bossy, they want to deliver on the bottom line in a very short timeline. Some they'll put you in a very tight box that you will be imagining if you can deliver on half of that project within that space of time. So we've seen where the employees, like you said, you were spot on in what you said in terms of harassment. I'll drive out with a little story. We had we had someone that once worked for us. I think she came from the UK, and her background is quite different. So once in a while we see her bringing complaint to the human resources department that she's being bullied via an email. So we're not like, Tony, what's happening here? She now said yes. For every time this person sends an email to her, the inflection of the intonation on that email is connoting like a dictatorship and all that, and it's beginning to affect our mental health, and we needed to address that. We needed to craft our policies to just make it more conducive for her. And also coming to sexual harassment, which is closely related to that, I'll just land by stating that yes, over time what we would term sexual harassment has changed. Yes. I worked while I was in billing, I think in precisely PhD. I think I had one boss there. So then what usually happened, he was thinking that what we term sexual harassment is an outright rape.
Wow.
But he didn't know that lots have changed within the space of time, and we're almost heading for the court. And we saw our female folks coming to us that they are sexually being harassed. And again, we needed to look into what we termed as our sexual policy. And as at the time we addressed that issue, we now saw that what should be termed sexual harassment we come from, let's say, unsolicited handshake, unwarranted hugs, or disguised statements.
The world is changing.
Yes, a lot is changing. So we had to just address that. Mr. Sunday said, oh, maybe it's coming from the village, that he never knew. He was thinking that until the act actually takes place, that's what he said, sexual harassment. So I see us keep educating our leadership team, send them for leadership courses, emotional intelligence. Let them just begin to see how things have changed, and most especially let them just know that as leaders, you are being placed in there to just lead and affect people.
All right. Viewers out there, I told you that it's going to be a very interactive program today. I hope your phones are ready, because shortly now we'll go into the behaviors, the different behaviors of a difficult boss, so that, because I know this is something that most of us experience on a daily basis. As we wake up to go to work, some of us even find it very difficult. The motivation to go to work that day is always, because you know what you're going to face. The mere sight of your boss alone puts you off for that day. So we're going to look into this, the different behaviors. So while we wait for your calls to come through, the numbers are on the screen right now. You can call in and share your contributions with us. Now, sir, what are these different behaviors that comes with a difficult, that bosses exhibit, that shows that they are difficult?
Yeah, in one of my leadership training for an organization, in fact, I did a chart that just depicts there's a difference between a boss and a leader. So it just clearly shows that whilst working for an organization, if you see someone that just wants to be that boss, you just see from everything about him. So whilst from the little usage of words like after every task be done, you hear things like hi instead of we. Because yes, in every organization, one of their key core values is teamwork.
That means teamwork. The glory is not being shared among the team.
Thank you, Mr. Ines. So we just see that for every time we execute projects, he goes up there and it's I. He didn't even know he was even shooting himself on the foot. When it's time to carry out our appraisals, he kind of appraises us, and himself, he kind of...
He's always up there.
He's up there. So thank God for our system. It's quite fair in terms of the structure we have for our performance management system. So it got to a point where leadership were like, why are all these employees underperforming? So, and it got to, and we just told them, we said, if we are not performing, our boss cannot perform, because our appraiser is his appraiser. So how come we are not performing and he's an excellent performer? So it got some critic and all that. Thank God for all of the tools that we have on board lately. I'll recommend some as we exit, but once you see them, they just want to come. Some even hear unknowingly. They hear, they shout. So they think, some of them think that part of how they can command status or respect is by being this boss, being this shouting.
And some of the things that will come with that is that they don't listen also.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they are too demanding. And in the place of them being too demanding, they don't know that they're hurting other people in the team.
Yeah.
And then this all equally boils down to the fact that when they take the glory, other people that have been hurt in the pursuit of accomplishment are not being recompensed.
So, Mr. Ines, so what still plays out at the end of the day, you now still see our employees being smart about it. That's why we are discouraged to all fullest a bossy, because when you go as a leader, I'll land by stating that there's no perfect leadership style.
Of course.
Great. So if we tackle it from there, we can see how they can actually put this to a halt. At times you can be autocratic. At times you need to put your foot on the ground as a boss. Yes, I have to reprimand someone. At times you need to be democratic. You can tell them that, okay, what we are discussing, we're going to take your view, but at the end of the day we'll see. At times, yes, you can be laid back, lazy spare,
and just
let them see. But in all of this, I've seen over time, in my close to 20 years of working, that being overly too bossy doesn't pay. Before in Michelin, when they used to have personnel managers, quite funny, their belts are always here. So once they are coming, then after somebody do like personnel management, personnel management. So they just want everybody. But over time, they now saw that a lot have changed. Yes, a lot have changed to actually impact on the business to add value. Businesses now focus on how they can grow them to be leaders. Yes, we'll still achieve the result, but not being overly bossy that will affect the business and what we do.
Amazing,
Yes,
amazing.
thank you.
Viewers, I told you people that you're going to enjoy the program today. Now, we're going to go for a short break, but as soon as we get back, we'll be talking about the different ways, the ways we can handle a difficult boss. So, while we're still expecting your calls, we'll be back in a jiffy. Sit back, maybe get a glass of water, and get ready for the second episode. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Hello, you're welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that short break. My name is still Ene John and I am your host today, and it's still people and politics. And today, if you're just joining us, we are discussing how to deal with a difficult boss. And my guest here has been doing justice to that topic. Now, we're expecting your call. Make sure you reach out to us. You can share your experience with us. Where you can be anonymous too. Tell us what your boss is doing. You can be anonymous and just share your experience, whatever it is. 1 or 2 persons out there might learn from you. So, now, how do we deal with a difficult boss?
Okay. Yeah, thank you, my host. Yes, we've been talking about the traits of a difficult boss. And I think before we're talking about dealing with a difficult boss, I think I just want to establish that over time, this cliche that we call boss is not very permanent position as per se. Yes. So I've seen the pendulum swing over time. So us, for example, in HR as a consultant, I've seen candidates I interviewed that got the job. And guess what, Mr. Ene, in a span of 5-10 years, I'm sitting on the other side of the divide and they are interviewing me for a consultancy brief.
Wow.
Then they are now my boss.
Wow.
So
that's life.
Yes, that's life. So depending on how I've treated them, we depend on. I've seen where someone went and he said, "Please, I beg to just excuse myself from this presentation."
Because the person already
knows that contract is not going to fly.
Already know your company.
Yes. So with that, yes, we are not going to encourage our employees, our viewers, to just say, "Oh, because we've identified the trait that the person is difficult, then you're quitting your job." No, in as much they are humans, they have shortcomings. You actually see how we can manage them. Number one, you have to first of all determine your boss's motivation. I capture that as number one because most times they have different expectations on how things need to be done. And I had a boss then is quite meticulous about everything. So when I'm getting even my business correspondence to him, I dot all the I's and cross the T's. That's what motivates him. He just wants over time, just study and you see how you can flow with that person. Number two, take responsibility when necessary. So over time, yes, we want to actually give our viewers or our employees that advice. Most time when you get query and all that, instead of continuously shifting that blame, I always tell people, take the responsibility. I don't even enjoy people apologizing more than 5 times or 2 times or 3 times. So for example, I go with the divider. Oh, you query somewhere. In my response, I'll let you that. So sincere apologies for this act. Kindly note that I'm taking full responsibility for this. Below are the points in which I will address this. So I itemize 1, 2, 3. So you don't come from that weakling background and being overly apologetic. I know it's sounding.
It can be boring sometimes.
Yes, it can be. Yes,
too much apology, like you, and then you now think or you convince yourself that it's as a result of what you previously, and then you start apologizing. Come on. At some point it becomes boring.
Very true.
So please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. And yes, we have already agreed in this platform that we are trying to address a difficult but our advice to viewers to choose your words wisely or carefully. Yes, we've done it to the point that, sorry to say, that at times when we are going to our bosses, then we leave our phones of vibration on record. Mr. Enna, it was that serious. Wow. In fact, one of our director came from Scotland. He has a pen like the one you're having on your native, and it's a recorder.
Wow!
It was the workplace was that toxic. So we went for So we like, you said that. So that truly, sir, I never said that. In my words, I said this. So I'm advising viewers, please, when you now identify this, don't speak too fast. Choose your work carefully. Choose them wisely.
You make people start looking at people with pens now, like they're recording what.
Yes, not really, but just in case we need to play them back. But just know that whatever that they said cannot be taken back. So when you are going to them, ensure you have the right information, you have the right data, so that you don't get yourself to bamboo. So I also advise dealing with such, avoid discussing your boss with co-workers. Yes. So I like creating that balance between what we emanate from that person being that bossy. It might be coming from that divider. Oh, I'm no longer the boss here.
I have a story on
okay,
that. Actually.
okay. I've sensed that my subordinate are disrespecting me and all that. So I don't enjoy you discussing because that grapevine or that we call in our local palace aproko, it tends to go, and before you know it gets to
Of
its ear.
course.
So I don't enjoy you to.
You know how Nigerians know how to add salt and pepper
Yes,
to a gist.
yes.
You hardly find one
Yes.
discuss something the way it is.
Thank you.
They must add one or two things that will favor them.
Thank you.
You know.
Yeah. So lastly, landing with understand his communication style.
Okay.
Yes, a non-verbal sign for a particular. I just understand how he communicates at every point in time. I had one then. His own is if he repeats whatever he's telling you more than 3 times, then his voice will actually go up a bit. So just though he's already losing it. Yes.
He expects you to grab it.
Yes.
At least,
Yes.
but if somebody says something
Yes.
1, 2, 3 times for you and you still don't understand, I don't understand what is your mind.
But as much as possible, I'll enjoy everyone here. Just learn how to manage your bosses. We are not promising anybody in this conversation that you're going to get a perfect boss, because us as being, we are not perfect as well, but we'll keep improving. But like we said, the organization will have their part to also ensure that these bosses become better leaders, because better leaders, corporates in our organizations, will actually lead to better corporate work.
Yeah, well, I'm tempted to say praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Man, this has been
Christian
so
network.
expository. Yes. I told you guys, we can't exhaust this topic, honestly speaking. We can't exhaust it. But for today, for time being, time is never our friend when we are discussing something beautiful.
Very true.
That is just the problem. So while we're still expecting your calls out there, it's time for you to call in, share your experience, tell us problem. You never can tell. Well, before we wind down, I would like us to, look at direct way, give instances of a down.
Okay.
When you have how do you establish that personal relationship, and how do you, there's something called familiarity, over familiarity and all those things. So I want us to look at it very briefly. How do you establish that relationship with your boss, but not make it over familiar, so that you can, like most of us don't know how to manage relationships.
Yeah, true.
So how can we establish that with having a difficult boss, and then having a way to relate with the person personally, on a personal level? How do we do that?
Thank you, Mr. Ine. I think I also establish in answering that, please never you actually get to the point where you can no longer differentiate you being a colleague and probably we are family.
Okay.
Those 2 points can never meet in terms of work and in terms of what we need to actually achieve. That please, a colleague is not a family. Even as families, I've seen big organizations where family runs, but once they come past that gate, drive past that gate, they put on the robe of a former workplace.
Wow.
Yeah. Of a former workplace. So I'll drive that by saying, please have that in mind, and also when that starts, don't go from that mindset that probably that you're going from that background of whether I want to be familiar with my boss, we are from the same village, and please separate that. Even where we separate that totally,
we find it difficult to do that.
Yes, we'll separate that. So when you are focused on your job,
okay.
I always enjoy employees as well. Know your job, be known for something, be deliver top notch, and let them know you for something. So go with an official viewpoint in terms of what you need to do, and how you start matters. So when you start working with this person, over time, this person it will determine whether you've earned trust has to be built over time.
Over time, yes.
So he or she will now know that, okay, beyond this official, the informal things, see if you take them for granted. See if you take them for granted. But over time, they'll see how you kept giving that distance when you need to.
Okay.
We've had bosses that are stark illiterate, Mr. Ine. We write speeches for them, but they'll take the glory. We have bosses. Yes, if we will say it, one of the first probably law of work is never you outshine your master.
Of course.
Don't
Of course.
don't even think of it. For that person being your boss or the business owner, probably God has given him that vision, or like the verse you read, being Lord over you as at that time.
Yes.
So I don't, over time, what has worked for me over familiarity doesn't end well. Relationship, and later, if for any reason he now sees that, oh, that can come in, then we can manage that.
And then even at that too,
Yeah,
you still have
there are
to
boundaries,
Yes.
create boundaries. So we have bosses where even the wives, when they come to the organization, what we have as a policy, do like, she's Mrs. My wife.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an executive director.
Okay.
When we go for meeting, we behave as such.
As
And
such.
those kind of, they tend to go far, unlike those that even the family relationship comes
Comes
to
to
the business and all that.
No,
Please,
no.
I wouldn't want that to happen. And just in case you are being given, I'm telling my viewers, you are being given that aura or that ambience, please don't allow that over familiarity.
Affects
Affects
relationship.
the
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel.
Thank
Omoribe.
you.
I mean, we can't have enough of you here.
Yes.
And I want you to promise my viewers that you'll be back again.
I will.
Because
I will.
we need to dig into this thing
I
and learn a
will.
lot more, because
I will.
I've established that you have the capability
Thank
and
you.
the everything we need.
Thank you.
to is our constraint.
Sure.
Now, for you out there, you have listened to us, and we can't take away the God factor
Yeah.
in all this. Yes, you might have a difficult boss. You also might be difficult yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have done something once or twice, and then you see on people's facial expression, and you know that yes, you have done something wrong. But the bossy nature of you cannot apologize.
Very true.
Well, I like the verse we read. Hebrew chapter 17, chapter 13, verse 17. Sorry, I'm sure you should go back and read that again, internalize it, pray over it, and hand over your boss to God. Tell God, if you lose your job by just an attitude, or by just one thing you did, or by just misreading the body language of your boss, or not being able to choose your word wisely,
Very true.
you might, one or two things might happen, but you need God's protection. So I join us as you listen to us and you put all this into practice. Please don't forget to always pray and to always ask God for guidance. That has been a wonderful, wonderful time, Mr. Samuel.
Thank
please,
you.
What's your last word for my viewers?
My last words to let it go in two ways.
Okay.
For those working as subordinates, the Bible talks about diligence. Just be diligent at what you do.
Okay.
Keep upskilling. And I always tell them, please, no job is your bus stop. It's a transit, unless you want to make it a transit. Aspire for top positions and you keep moving. And for our bosses, please know that whatever you do has direct impacts on the employee and the society. At one point in our organization, even before we terminate an employee employment, we ask ourselves that question, that please, we are not terminating someone's appointment, but we are terminating someone's family, because I have dependents. So you are seeing me, the boss wants to terminate me, someone as an employee, but I have a wife, I have two sons, I have my mother waiting for me. So before you know, so as bosses, please, we know we need to meet the bottom line, but just go from the platform of being a leader, show them the way, command the respect, and everybody will be fine.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr.
Pleasure,
Samuel.
Mr. Eno.
Now, my viewers, it's been wonderful. We can't thank you enough for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Now, we will be live here next Tuesday by this time again. Please join us. And we promise you a fantastic topic then. Join us again. My name remains Ene John Jr. I am your host on People and Politics. Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.